Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 164 of Lonely Gods. I am your host, David, and I'm joined here, as always, by Kate.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Kate.
Oh, hi. I do not like Doctor Who. I do not.
Anyway,
God, I'm lame. Hi.
you didn't even see that movie. God damn it,
No, I
Kate.
didn't. John went to see it. He said he liked it.
It's a good movie, but that has nothing to do with Doctor Who, which is what we're here to talk about.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Do we have any Who news? There's a Christmas special happening soon.
Yeah, there is.
In 2 days, right? 3 days. Two.
Well, it airs on Christmas Day, so I guess that's three days from now. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, nothing really newsworthy that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, granted, we haven't recorded in a while, so I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. But
Doctor Who's a woman now.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. What are you talking about? No such thing. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of specials, we watched the 50th anniversary special at Casa del Kate.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I thought it was quite enjoyable and good.
What's your favorite part?
I don't know.
I remember my favorite part.
Okay, what was your favorite part?
It's the part where they have to figure out how to open the locked cell door.
Oh, but then it's not actually locked.
No, I know, but I like that they put the equation into the War Doctor's sonic screwdriver, so it can process the whole time till we get to Matt Smith's sonic screwdriver.
Well, it was a good use of the multi-doctor thing, certainly.
But
the joke at the end that the door wasn't locked in the first place was just kind of stupid.
Yeah, it was okay, but I liked the time. I like when they do fun stuff like that.
I do too. I just wish it had been for a reason. And because there's
someone other than Stephen Moffat writing your stuff.
Yeah, I know. He's got this habit of introducing a cool idea and then undercutting it, and by making it a stupid joke. And it's like
it's a tactic The Simpsons uses all the fucking time to great effect.
Yeah, I know, but The Simpsons is a fucking comedy.
But yeah, it's different in Doctor Who.
It's different when Doctor Who does it. I think my favorite aspect of the special was the War Doctor. His reactions to the behavior of Tennant and Smith, and it was kind of funny to see a Doctor that had sort of a classic series outlook reacting to the new series Doctors of like, why do you have to talk like children and flap your arms about and have stupid catchphrases and like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and that was nice because it was like validation of shit that I've been saying about the new series forever. I'm still like I said, I enjoyed it. I think the Time War stuff was fairly well handled. I think it was a neat thing to bring Tennant and Smith together. I thought John Hurt did a really good job. I don't know, Zygon stuff, Clara, but overall fun. I'm not like, normally I'd be upset at the idea that Gallifrey would be saved retroactively, but they handled it in such a way that the previous continuity is still intact. Like, because the War Doctor and Tennant don't remember the encounter, they still believe that they destroyed Gallifrey, and to all intents and purposes, it's gone anyway. So that's fine.
We literally just saw that happen with when the Brigadier came back.
Yes.
It's a very similar concept.
Yes. So that was fine. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad it wasn't a total like never happened reset button, because that would it was such a a core part of the new series, especially early on, that Gallifrey had been destroyed. If you took that away, even for a special, it would be a bit.
And then Tom Baker shows up.
And then Tom Baker shows up, which I loved very much.
Or as the Doctor, who knows? Wink, nod.
I don't know. That was probably my favorite single scene, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
They had a lot of cool nods to the classic series, which made me happy. I still am not sold on the idea of the War Doctor. I think John Hurt did a great job with it, but I still don't think it's necessary. I think Paul McGann could have easily have been the Doctor that fought the Time War. There was no need for a secret Doctor.
The whole point was that he didn't want to be the Doctor that fought the Time War.
Yeah, I know, but the thing...
Respect his decision.
No, because the thing is they built the War Doctor up to be like, okay, he's a secret doctor that was basically like disowned by his following lies because he was ruthless and did terrible, terrible things. And then when we meet him, he's really quite doctorish. He's not that ruthless. He's not that mean. He's not, you know, he's maybe a little bit bitterer, but he's no worse than like a Hartnell or anything. Like, I felt like they built him up to be more of a hard ass than he turned out to be.
I think the whole thing is, but I think that the reason why they built him up like that is because they had believed that he destroyed Gallifrey.
I know, but I mean, they could have easily have done the same thing with McGann, very easily, especially given his Big Finish character arc where he just gets ground down and more terrible things keep piling up on him.
I don't think it works unless you listen to Big Finish then.
But even then, I think it still works because it's like, I mean, Paul McGann in a way is almost like a secret doctor anyway. Because if you don't listen to Big Finish, he's got one TV movie that most people kind of forget about.
That's supposed to be bad.
That's supposed to be bad and is not great.
Yeah, so
it still kind of works. It's a doctor you barely know. I mean, there's nothing to say that he couldn't have done it.
I think it makes sense. I just think you want it to be Paul McGann.
Well, of course I wanted to be Paul McGann. I just think it was unnecessary to introduce another incarnation, and I think
it should have been hinted at least.
Yes.
If anything, I'll agree with you on that. Like, they could have at least set that up ahead of time and just not, or like been more vague about it, because they make it seem like. That they make it seem like Christopher Eccleston's coming out of that at some point, and
and it's a little bit. I mean, my suspicion is that Stephen Moffat wanted to do the end of Regeneration cycle drama with Matt Smith himself. I think he wanted that juicy little story, and I think he added an extra incarnation so he could do it.
Oh.
To make the numbers total up, so he was able to do that storyline. Because, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's next.
Anyway, I don't know. Looking at the Big Finish page, there's some very mastery stuff, I guess. Next year we're getting a master short trip. That's written
from the master's perspective.
Huh? Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Which is actually also written by Crispy Master himself.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yes. Third Doctor is confirmed to be facing the Cybermen in Third Doctor Adventures Volume 4. I don't know what else. War Master's out. You can fucking order Fourth Doctor Adventures for next year. Oh yeah, they announced Jago and Lightfoot is going to have one last release called Jago and Lightfoot Forever to tie up the series after the death of what's his pickle. So
it was Lightfoot, right?
Yes.
Bad. We'll get there eventually.
Yep. In theory. You have to stop working and taking trips and having any kind of life at all.
Hey. Don't make me send you more pictures.
No.
All right, so let's get into. We only have one story to talk about this week.
Yes.
And it is the end of our Turlough Black Guardian trilogy of stories.
And what a story it is.
We're still in the middle of the season, right?
Yes.
This is a weird season. They do there's not at the beginning or at the end, but in the middle.
In the middle. Well, there's the next TV story is the finale, so.
And then it's the fifth Doctor, the 5 Doctors.
Correct.
It's weird.
Correct.
Weird season.
Yeah.
So this story is called Enlightenment, and it's an odd duck cape.
Sure is.
Sure is. So the Doctor and crew land on what seems to be a 14th century sailing
14th
ship.
Century, holy shit! What are you talking? Right? It's Edwardian era, so like 1910s.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Serious?
It was the other ship.
Well, there's the pirate ship, but that's still not 14th century, man.
When does the pirate stuff take place?
Pirates are like 1700s, 1600s.
Oh.
Like, they're not...
Okay. I'm bad at history, okay?
You really are. You should watch more Doctor Who.
So, yes, they land on an early 1900 sailing ship, and it's very weird. The systems, since after Turlough had sabotaged the console in the previous story, the Doctor is trying to fix it while Turlough and Tegan play chess, and Tegan doesn't really give a shit.
No, not really. I mean, Tegan's always been a suspicious Aloysius about Turlough, and after he ran during the end of Terminus, she's pretty pissed at him. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a weird power drain because the White Guardian is trying to talk to the Doctor, but it's taken so much power, like he's gonna blow out the TARDIS console.
And then the Black Guardian briefly shows up.
Yep. So I mean, all we really know is that like something like winner take all, so and so can't win. So when we arrive on this weird ass ship, the Doctor and Turlough end up talking with the crew in their like bunk room, and like nobody can quite remember when they came aboard, and nobody really gets to see the officers very often, which is terribly mysterious.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Tegan ends up with like this creepy guy who's like in 12 places at once.
Yes, he is very weird and creepy.
He's very weird and creepy. His name is Mariner, which is like so subtle.
Yes.
Never changed, Doctor
Who. And then the Doctor is mistaken for the ship's cook.
Yes. So what? Him and Turlough, or he gets taken up to the wheelhouse to meet with the captain. Turlough kind of makes buddies with this like anti-alcohol crewman, and the crewmen are called to go aloft onto the deck. Turlough's supposed to go with them, but kind of like pussies out.
Yes.
Because he doesn't actually know what the fuck he's doing.
Because he's a dandy fop.
He's not a dandy fop.
I know he's not. I just like that word.
Pertwee is a dandy fop.
But so yeah, the crewmen go up to the deck where Tegan is not allowed, and the Doctor is having dinner with the captain, which is interrupted when they announce that the race is about to start. And then they go to the wheelhouse and they see the race course, which is made up of the Earth solar system. And they open up a view screen, and there's a bunch of old-timey ships floating in the middle of space.
Yeah, old-timey sailing ships on the sailing on solar winds around the solar system.
Yes.
Because it turns out that the crewmen of these ships have been snatched from Earth and made to work because the officers are Eternals, which are like these like super powerful beings that exist outside of time who are extremely fucking bored. And so they rely on mortals to amuse them. And so they're undertaking this race where the prize is enlightenment. And
also, they call us ephemerals.
Ephemerals, whatever. And so yeah, each of the Eternal captains have chosen a historical kind of ship from Earth history, and they have to race their ships in space, but otherwise within the constraints of what those kinds of ships were capable of.
Yes.
Because I guess they've been around for, well, all of eternity. They're ageless and deathless, and they're bored to tears. So limiting themselves and making use of the minds of mortals is the only way they can, like, have any kind of entertainment or new ideas or anything.
Yes.
So
and the prize is enlightenment, which is everything, the knowledge of everything.
The knowledge of everything. So yeah, at that point, the subplot is basically like Turlough is trying to break off his deal with the Black Guardian to the point where he ends up trying to commit suicide by jumping off.
He's not trying to break off his deal. At this point, he's failed. The Black Guardian's like, I'm going to kill you.
You're going to be stuck on the ship forever.
Yeah.
So Turlough jumps. Um, Meanwhile, Tegan is trying to foist off the advances of Mr. Mariner, who's super fucking creepy.
So weird.
So weird. He's not like, she asks him like straight out, like, are you in love with me? And he's like, I don't care. Like, what's love? I'm looking for fucking existence, anything to entertain. Because he's fascinated by Tegan's mind, because I guess there's something in there. Maybe it's the Mara. I don't know.
We like Tegan now. You hush.
We like Tegan, but she still gets her balls broken. And so
he's sassy. That's what he's fascinated. He's never seen sass before.
I guess not. So meanwhile, the Doctor and the Captain Stryker are like trying to win the race, and a couple of the other ships are like blown up and destroyed. And the captain at first thinks that it was just like, you know, sailing error, but it actually turns out to be sabotage from the pirate captain Rack, who has a big one.
She's very weird.
She reminded me of Pearl from Mystery Science Theater.
I couldn't tell if they were trying to give her a tan or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does actually. Pearl is a very good comparison for Captain Rack.
Yes, so Captain Rack has like this weird like power thing that focuses onto different crystals, and she like gives gifts to the other captains as like, I don't know, tokens of her fucking respect or whatever, that have crystals embedded in them. And then she like, when they get near to her ship, she like uses the thing to blow them up.
Also, her first mate is Davy. Or no, what was it? No, that was the other one. My bad. But yeah, so like they give like the Greek, was it the Greek guy? Yeah, they got the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other captain got the sword.
Yeah.
And she does mind magic on Tegan and gives her puts a jewel in the tiara she was wearing.
Oh yeah, because Rack threw a party with to like invite some of the officers from the other ships over toward the end of the race. It's all a trap because she's evil, but that doesn't stop Turlough, who after his suicide attempt, Turlough was like scooped up by Rack and kind of tries to like worm in with her, and he finds out that she's in cahoots with the Black Guardian as well,
and she's like torturing him basically mentally.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is in cahoots with the Black Guardian. That's who's giving her the power to focus and blow people up.
Exactly. And then Turlough traps himself in her blow-up chamber while the oxygen is being sucked out and screams for help.
Yes.
Which I thought was kind of a standout scene, just because like at first he appeals to the Black Guardian to save him, and when there's no response, then he starts yelling for the Doctor.
Yes. So, the Doctor, fortunately, I guess, finds Turlough before he suffocates to death.
Yeah, which is interesting because they have a chat, but they don't, like, the Doctor doesn't talk about him like, I know you've been in cahoots with the Black Guardian, you know, how could you betray me, da, da, da. They don't go there. Like, the Doctor never really confronts Turlough about it. He kind of just observes, I guess, and accepts it when Turlough makes his decision at the end, you know?
Yeah.
There's not like a big, aha, you bastard scene, like you might expect.
Yes.
So anyway, yes, they managed to get rid of Tegan's sweet tiara before it blows up. And I guess off-screen, Turlough and the Doctor like straight up murder Rack and her first mate, sort of, by throwing them into space. I mean, they're Eternals, so they like transfer home, but
the Doctor didn't do it because the Doctor left at that point.
No, him and Turlough were both still on the ship, weren't they? Oh no, Turlough did.
No, yeah, because Rack sends after Turlough accuses the Doctor of being a spy, right? And Rack sends the Doctor, Tegan, and Mariner back to the Edwardian ship.
Right. So then Turlough's still there.
Yeah. So.
But no, didn't the Doctor come back and like get him out of the vacuum chamber and then whatever?
No. That was before that. He got him out of the vacuum chamber.
Okay, that's right. Yes. Well, in
But
any
they were at the
case,
party because she was.
Rack and her black friend are flushed out, and the Eternals obviously don't die. They just kind of go back home. So, whatever. But because her ship was winning, and the Doctor and Turlough crossed the finish line first, and so the two Guardians offer them enlightenment, sort of. The Doctor says no, because he's not an idiot. He knows how these gifts of power work.
Before that, because Rack was focusing on the crystal.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor had to first he smashes it, and then he realizes in a cool twist. I thought that wouldn't work. That only gives her more targets to focus on to blow up.
Right. Because it's not really like the crystal itself that has this power. It's just more of like it's like a target.
Yeah.
More or less. It's not
so he gathers up all the pieces and throws them into the air, and then they explode.
Yeah.
And then the whole double cross is revealed because they give, in order to win, they give the Doctor his TARDIS. And because that's when he takes off, and you think that he and Turlough were tossed out, but it turns out it was Captain Rack,
right?
And her first mate.
Yes.
So the Doctor wins, and we find out that the whole race was a setup between the Black and the White Guardian, which is very weird. Like, I don't get that part.
Well, it's because like. In terms of the cosmic hierarchy, like the Guardians are above the Eternals, so I mean, I guess they're the ones that could bestow power on them.
But why? Why did they do this in the first place?
Because they felt like it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't actually question that, to be honest with you. I kind of figured that it was more that. I mean, I guess it was meant as a reward. Maybe it's amusement for the Guardians as well. I have no idea.
The end of the story made me realize I don't like the Guardians, like, at all.
No?
No. Like, I don't need... Doctor Who doesn't need a good and an evil Q. Like, we don't need that. There's enough cool shit in the Doctor Who universe. We don't need these weird... Like, I like the Toy Maker, or, like, with these weird ethereal beings that aren't just like the embodiments of good and evil. Like,
well, I mean, I like the idea that there are people above Time Lords in terms of cosmic power.
That's fine. I just don't need an embodiment of good and an embodiment of evil that can never go away or die because they keep each other in balance. And this is what I like out of Star Wars. I don't need it in my Doctor Who. I don't need this plain black and white bullshit.
I mean, I guess, but it doesn't bother me, especially like as somebody who enjoys the like Seventh Doctor's Elder Gods arc. Like, I don't know, I just like the idea of cosmic forces, and I think that it's nice that there are people who make even the Time Lords look small. The black and white stuff, it's simple, but it's also mythic in a way, and that's fine. But anyway, the Doctor refuses enlightenment, and Turlough was also offered a piece of it because he helped, I guess, like shake and bake. And he decides, after much consideration, because he's a greedy son of a fuck, to reject it as well. And then the Black Guardian goes up in flames, including his stupid bird hat.
Well, they both have bird hats.
They do, which is the stupidest thing. I don't know why they did that.
I don't know. It reminds me of The Prisoner. But it's just the ending and them being behind the race just is so weird. Like, it doesn't fit the rest of the story to me. Because the White Guardian sends the Eternals back to the screaming abyss. Like, their existence sounds torturous, and it's a very weird ending.
It is a weird ending, and honestly, I never considered the logic of why the Guardians would hold this race.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't hold the race. Maybe they're only there because of Turlough's involvement. Maybe like they weren't the ones that organized it, but
like,
well, maybe I don't know. Maybe the Enlightenment is like a relic that just is there normally. I don't know.
See, like, once you think about it, once you start thinking about it, it all falls apart because it doesn't.
You're fucking with my head.
I'm sorry.
I hadn't thought of that.
This is why I don't like I was like
There
I don't
must
like
be
the
a
Guardians.
reason.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I will say that I think the Guardians themselves, not so much the concept, but the way that they're used are not my favorite things in the world.
No,
Because the White
exactly.
Guardian doesn't do jack shit. And the
No.
Black Guardian doesn't do jack shit. It's just he shouts more.
He yells and he gives Turlough the power to do stuff, but it's like I don't know. We already have demons. Just leave me the demons and the magic, and I don't need. And give me cosmic elder gods. That's fine. But just
What about evil magician Roger Delgado?
he's my favorite. But
Well,
you understand my issue with the ending of this now, which is
yes,
good.
I do.
And
I don't
and
think
then
it doesn't bug me when I'm watching it though.
it's just like you get to that ending, and it's like they just hand waved away the whole race. Like,
Yeah.
what was the point of everything? No one won. The Doctor won. It was just a story about the Doctor. This was all just set dressing to give Turlough his come to truth moment, and none of it actually mattered. It's like when Harry Potter catches the snitch in Quidditch, and you're like, wait a minute, the rest of the sport is stupid. It's all about this
The
one
rest of the
moment.
sport is too. Well, okay, but like presumably, if one of the Eternals had won, they would have been offered the same choice. And I
But when you
think
think about that, it doesn't. Why?
I think honestly, I don't know. I think that it's got something to do with. It reminds me of Jacob and the Smoke Monster from
I was
Lost.
just,
I think it's
I,
like I think there's some kind of like I think that the Eternals like to play games against one another, and I think this is one of those games.
I think that's a good analogy. I was going to say it reminds me of a Stephen Moffat episode where it's like you've got all these ideas, but they don't make sense.
Hmm. But overall, what did you think?
I mean, I did like it. I have some serious problems with the ending, but it's a really well crafted mystery that like strings you along pretty well.
Uh-huh.
It was
I
definitely better than the last one.
That's true. This is I would say this is my favorite of the trilogy, honestly.
Actually, yeah, no, it was definitely better than the last two because I mean, Modern Undead had some interesting parts, but was a mess.
I like Modern Undead, but yeah, it's a mess. But this one had a very it's completely batshit, but
Yeah,
it's definitely like a standout, memorable episode, and it's very ambitious. It's very well made. It's well written. I think like in terms of the logic of the race, I do think that at least as far as Turlough's arc goes, I think it's a good payoff for his story. I like that it takes him far enough that he's willing to try and commit suicide before he kind of works his way out of it. And I don't know. I just think this sailing ships in space is a really super neat visual idea.
me too.
And I
liked it
think
a
that
lot.
Doctor Who is one of those shows that you can get away with it. Like you couldn't do that on Next Generation. You couldn't do that in the X Files. You couldn't.
It'd be too weak. Well, obviously,
Well, no, you know what I mean though. Like there are a lot of sci-fi shows where that just doesn't work.
Yeah,
But Doctor Who can do it, and it's really strong imagery. And it's just just a well crafted story that I enjoy watching. The DVD has a special edition on the second disc of this, which actually has about 15 minutes cut from the show.
Oh shit! Really? In which part?
I don't know, as I didn't watch it. I watched the episodic one just so if you started talking about a scene and I had no idea what you were talking about, just so we would be on the same page. But yeah, the original director Fiona Cumming and the DVD team went back and they made a feature length version of it. That like I said, it stitched all the episodes together, cut about 15 minutes, added a new surround sound track and new effects.
Oh, it cut 15 minutes. I thought you said it added.
No, it cut 15 minutes.
Wait. Weird.
So,
wouldn't it be feature length without doing that?
Well, they say feature length, but what they really mean is it's just an omnibus one. Because, like, yeah, if you cut 15 minutes, it's like around an hour and 10.
Yeah.
So
something like that. If you take out take out 3 of the opening and ending credits, so that cuts off a little bit of time. But yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to sit down and watch that version at some point and kind of see the differences. I mean, normally when they've done special editions, or like they've been extended cuts, or the effects have been mixed into the regular episodes. So this is the first one that I've encountered so far that's like just a totally separate feature on its own disc. But
Oh, I see. I'm looking at the notes on the Wikipedia page, and the original title for this story was The Enlighteners, and they cut the Enlighteners and made them the Guardians instead.
you know, that doesn't surprise me. I think that it's possible that this story was probably given a commission, at least the core idea of it, and then they were told, well, you also have to include the Guardians because you have to wrap that up. And so
Yeah.
it might not have been built with the Guardians in mind.
So that makes why this makes no sense at the end,
Um,
because they swapped out characters.
yeah, another thing too is that this story was kind of in. There was industrial action going on at the BBC because when the fuck wasn't there.
Yeah.
So this story was like it kind of started and then got into pre-production and then had to be shut down for a while and then came back. So like this was only going to be like this was a 4 episode story, and it wasn't sure if it was going to come back. And then for the end of the season, they had planned the King's Demons, which is the finale. It's a 4 episode story, but it was only planned as 2, and then there was going to be a a two-parter to end the season called Warhead that was going to be a Dalek story, and that got cut. And then King's Demons ended up being 4 parts, and Enlightenment got back on track. And so I don't know, I like it was kind of disrupted halfway through, and I have to wonder if that had something to do with having a little bit disjointingness as far as like the overall Black Guardian stuff went.
There's actually a couple of cool things here in the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
This is apparently still the only Doctor. I don't know when this was written, so it may have changed, but the only Doctor Who production to date to have been both written and directed by women.
As far as I know, that's still true, but I don't really care.
I know it's just but no, that's not the most interesting. That's just one part. This is the Doctor replaces his celery stalk with one from Captain Rack's ship. Rather curiously, both stalks come from buffets, which are essentially figments of other people's imaginations. Castrovalva and the Buccaneer both being quote-unquote unreal.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. And then although the dialogue in which he gives the information is inaudible, the script or lip-reading his initial message makes it clear that the White Guardian's mission for the Doctor is to stop Rack winning the race, which would have devastating consequences for the whole universe.
Well, I guess, although it does beg the question, like, if she won the race, why wouldn't the White Guardian be like,
No.
no? Like, I guess. I mean, if I remember the key to time right, I think the deal is basically that the White Guardian and Black Guardian balance each other, so they can't really take direct action against one another. They have to use other beings to tip the scales. So, the White Guardian just refusing her the prize, I guess, wouldn't be allowed. But
oh, the Enlighteners actually come back, or the Eternals and Enlightenment come back in a Benny audio story.
Cool.
Called The Heart's Desire. And the 10th Doctor mentions the Eternals, referencing the Void in Army of Ghosts.
It reminds me of are the Eternals a comics thing? Is there like a Marvel Eternals or a DC Eternals or a?
I believe it is Marvel. Maybe. I mean, there's freaking no, because the DC one's the Endless.
Okay, well, whatever.
That's what Dream and Death and all of the Sandman stuff is.
Well, Death is in Doctor Who. She's very interesting.
Death is also a woman in DC Comics, a goth girl. Sandman's really fucking good. It's why you would like Neil Gaiman, because it's really well written and awesome.
Well, if it's anything like his Doctor Who, I don't want anything to do with it.
It's really not. It's much more intense. Also, did you see Coraline? Coraline's great.
I like Coraline a lot. Yeah,
Coraline's really good.
It's just I think the only other things I've seen from Neil Gaiman are The Doctor's Wife and Nightmare in Silver, which I both hate. So
what about Stardust? Did you see Stardust? That movie's good too.
Nope.
Robert De Niro plays a sky pirate.
Well, that is tempting.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. Anyway.
Any fucking way.
So yeah, I'm glad this Black Guardian stuff's over, so we can like seriously develop Turlough as a character because we started getting.
Oh, son.
I know what I'm saying. But,
Oh
like,
no, sweetheart.
I was really sick of this shit being dragged. Like it was interesting for one story, and then it was the same thing 3 times in a row. Or
No,
well,
no, no,
twice
no,
in a
no,
row.
no, 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 no. We don't develop Turloughs, sweetheart. No,
Oh, we don't.
no, we don't. No, Turlough is kind of like after his arc with the Black Guardian ends, at least on television, his arc is kind of done, and they don't do much with him.
Great.
You could almost believe that after this point, you could almost believe that Tegan was basically the only companion, and Turlough kind of just sulks around the background.
Really? So he's like a less annoying Adric? He's just kind of there?
Yeah, he's just kind of there. Although, speaking of useless companions, just you wait. But thankfully, there's many, many audios between now and the next TV show.
Oh, god damn it.
Shut up. You like it. You like Turlough and you like Tegan. You like Big Finish.
Turlough's okay so far.
I like Turlough a lot.
Turlough's interesting, but you just told me they don't do anything with him except in the audios.
More or less, yeah, but I mean, that's the
Like,
case for a lot of
Tegan-
Doctor Who, unfortunately.
Tegan develops a lot in the audios, but she does actually develop on the TV show, which is a little shocking. I mean, the fact that I just said I wanted Turlough to develop on the TV show is also a little ridiculous, knowing what we know about the show at this point.
Yeah,
Like
well,
the fact that Tegan actually does develop a little bit on the show was surprising.
well, you know, it's not totally nothing with Turlough, but it's kind of a case of wasted potential. And I mean, to be fair, you know, you enjoyed Nissa plenty, and I felt the same way with her on TV a lot of the time. I felt like the audios gave her a chance to shine, and the TV often kind of shunted her to the background.
Well, there were moments, but I agreed with you on Nissa for like the last 5 to 10 of her stories. There was like a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like Turlough's sort of in the same boat, which is unfortunate because he's a great idea for a companion, I think.
Well, then I guess I should be excited about the audios to explore this.
Yeah, you should, shitbag. I mean,
fuck you.
Audios aren't something to groan about. Besides, they're easier to get ready.
It's when you said there's a ton of them between now and the next. That's always when it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, there is. So
we're in the middle of a season.
Yeah, we are. What better place for like 100 audios?
I just want to see the 5 Doctors.
Patience, Iago.
And then watch the riff tracks of it.
All right, fuckhead. Like, there's no getting off of this Who train around.
I already watched Star Wars Christmas special riff tracks for the second time. I need something else old and fun.
You need a life, Jesus Christ. Well, how about some Big Finish for that ass?
I was on a plane. Leave me alone.
Oh.
Okay, so what's up for next time, Kate?
Okay, for next week, just today, fresh off the Big Finish presses, is the Christmas short trip. It is a First Doctor and Steven story called O Tannenbaum. We also have, that came out since we were last on the air, the Early Adventures finale, The Wreck of the World, which, for once, does not have Ben and Polly in it and is a Jamie and Zoe story.
I'm always happy with Jamie. Means we get more Jamie because there's one less character to have to give screen time to.
That's very true. And for the 5th Doctor, we have 4 audios because fuck my life.
Oh, fuck.
We have a companion chronicle from Turlough by the name of Freak Show.
So that's an hour?
And yes. And then we're going to be kicking off the
That was an or.
Huh?
That was an or, and you just said yes.
Yes, it is an hour.
Okay.
As far as I know. And then we're also going to be kicking off the longest of all of the audio storylines that the 5th Doctor had. 5th Doctor audios don't have as many long arcs as like some of the other Doctors do, but this is kind of the big one for the 5th Doctor. So the first trilogy in that arc consists of Cobwebs, The Whispering Forest, and The Cradle of the Snake.
You're lucky I have to drive a bunch the next couple days.
Well, that's okay.
So you gotta get them quick.
I will.
Bro. All right.
Don't be a faggot.
I'm excited. That's how many. That's a lot of hours, Kate. 8,
Let's see, half
9,
hour. So
9. Wait, what was half? Oh, you said the short trip, so 9.5 hours. Because it's a trilogy
yes,
of
you're right.
monkey brains.
Yes, that's
6 hours.
true.
The early adventure, which is 8.
I thought we were coming back in 2 weeks, not in next week.
Well, we may have to come back in 2 weeks now, huh?
Well, however long it takes, we'll be back with that, okay?
All right. We'll see everyone then. That's gonna be exciting.
Yes, I'm excited too.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.